Alright, so the S24 Ultra was no doubt one of the best phones of 2024. In almost every department. One of the best displays in any phone, one of the best camera systems, one of the longest lasting phones in terms of battery life, one of the cleanest and sleekest designs of any phone. I've always loved Samsung's boxy edges on their Note phones, one of the cleanest and reliable software experiences in an Android phone in the form of One UI, still has an S Pen. For anyone looking for a super high-end experience in a smartphone and willing to pay north of the $1,000 mark, the S24 Ultra was one of the default recommendations. But now that the S25 series of Samsung's phones have come out, I want to answer the question of whether that's the new phone you should buy or if you can save some money by getting the 1-year-old S24 Ultra. Okay, so first let's go through what the differences actually are between the S24 Ultra and the S25 Ultra. To be honest, the only differences you're actually going to be able to notice are in the display and the design. The cameras have thicker rings around them, making them look like a little bit of a beefier setup. The S25 Ultra has a flatter, boxier build with rounded corners and slimmer bezels, and that means it gets a 1-inch larger display. I do like the new changes. I think the S25 Ultra looks very slightly more modern than the S24 Ultra, but still very similar. There are other tiny differences, but for the overwhelming majority of users, they make pretty much no difference. You get the newer Snapdragon 8 Elite over the 8 Gen 3, so slightly better performance and maybe slightly better battery life. There's also stronger glass on the screen, but a lot of the marketing Samsung is pushing for is for their new AI features that are this year, basically about integrating Gemini into your general phone using experience. It seems like from a lot of early videos and press stuff that it's basically a new way to use your phone for a lot of really boring tasks, like searching up when an event is and asking it to add it to your calendar. Very basic, but it seems like similar to something like Circle to Search on last year's phones. It seems like something that people will actually want to use, which I love to see. Now, these AI features are rolling out to the S25 series of phones first, but I'm very sure the S24 series will definitely get those upgrades eventually. So I don't think the AI features are a reason to get the new phone, but yeah, those are most of the differences. Now for a couple quick notes on how the S24 Ultra has held up since around 6 months ago when I first got the phone. First up, battery life. Battery life has been amazing. The first 2 days of having the S24 Ultra, I was a little worried about battery life because it didn't seem like anything particularly amazing. But I guess once the phone is completely done setting up, everything goes back to normal, which for the S24 Ultra is very good battery life. Near the beginning, I found it really difficult, but not impossible to kill it in a single day. On a single charge, I would be getting anywhere from 7.5 to even 9 hours of screen on time. Obviously, batteries degrade quick, and at this point I still get great battery life, but just not as great as the day I took out the box. And definitely not as good as I could have had if I had taken better care of the battery. Things like charging overnight are not great for your long-term battery health, but I do them anyway. But now I'm getting maybe 4 or 5 hours of screen on time with like 20% charge at the end of the day. So battery has only taken a slight hit, if anything. For the whole time I've used this phone, I haven't had a case on it and it's been completely fine. Like, I'm very careful with my phone, so I've never really dropped it like properly, and there aren't any obvious scratches or dents on the aluminium rail. But yeah, I really can't think of many problems with this phone. It's all the things that made it pretty much the default flagship phone if you're willing to spend over $1,000 on a phone. And since the S25 Ultra made a total of maybe 3 tiny upgrades over the S24 Ultra, I would feel pretty safe recommending the S24 Ultra still for those who want to save a little bit of money, especially if you can find it for maybe at least £300 or dollars cheaper than retail, which shouldn't be hard. You're probably going to be covered for all the years that you plan on using this phone because this specific phone gets 6 years of software updates from now onwards. But yeah, I still think the S24 Ultra is still worth it even though it's now a generation old. Look on Amazon, you can 100% find it for cheaper than retail cost. This one costs £800 in the UK, which I think is a great buy for the amount of phone you're getting. If anything, the S25 lineup of phones were the upgrade that made the previous generation seem like the best value in comparison. But a huge thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you guys found it useful. Hit the subscribe button, drop a like, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.